Have you ever been watching your favorite show or movie, fully immersed, popcorn in hand, ready for the climax, only for your worst nightmare to happen? That moment when Netflix crashes right at the exact moment that everything is about to go down. Yeah, that happened to me last weekend, and let me tell you, it was a roller coaster of emotion that I wasn't prepared for. I had settled in for a quiet night at home, thinking I'd finally catch up on this series I'd been binge-watching all week. I had everything planned. Snacks within arm's reach, blanket positioned perfectly, phone on silent, and my cat reluctantly cuddling nearby. It was the perfect setup. I was ready to immerse myself in the story, to finally see what everyone had been raving about, and everything was going perfectly. The tension was building. The characters were at a breaking point, and I was hanging on every word, every scene, completely wrapped up in the drama. Then it happened, right at the peak of the episode. The scene everyone had warned me about. The twist that would leave me screaming, or crying, or maybe both. Netflix froze it. The screen went black for a split second, and then, in all its cruel glory, displayed the dreaded spinning wheel. You know, the one. That little circle of doom that signals your life, at least for the next several minutes, is officially on pause. I sat there, frozen, not sure whether to scream, bang on my television, or just quietly weep. I stared at the screen, willing it to magically start playing again, as if sheer willpower could override technology. But no. The wheel spun relentlessly, mocking me, reminding me that life, apparently, enjoys torturing those of us who invest emotionally in fictional stories. At first, I tried to stay calm. Maybe it was just a brief glitch, right? Maybe if I waited a few seconds, it would resume. I refreshed the app. Nothing. I restarted the TV. Nothing. I even considered unplugging the Wi-Fi, plugging it back in, and performing a small ritual involving chanting and waving my hands like a wizard. Still, nothing. The scene I had been anticipating for days, the confrontation, the reveal, the emotional punch in the gut was gone. And in its place, silence, darkness, and that spinning circle. I felt my heart rate increase, panic creeping in like a villain slowly taking over a story. As I sat there, trying to rationalize what had happened, I started thinking about all the times I'd experienced this nightmare. It's always the same. Right when you're emotionally invested, right when you're leaning forward on the edge of your seat, life decides to hit pause. There's no warning, no mercy, just a cruel interruption that makes you question why you even bother getting attached to characters who can't even exist without the aid of streaming technology. I felt a mix of anger and despair, muttering under my breath about the injustice of it all. And then came the classic internal debate. Do I wait and hope it comes back, or do I give up and find something else to do? Giving up wasn't an option. I had invested too much, emotionally and mentally. I needed closure. I needed to know what happened next, so I did what any sane person would do in 2025. I went full detective mode. I checked my Wi-Fi connection, my router, my Netflix app updates. I even scrolled through social media to see if anyone else was having the same problem. Spoiler alert. They were, and of course, seeing posts from people who were also frustrated made me feel a tiny bit better, like I wasn't completely alone in my suffering. But it didn't help the spinning wheel that was mocking me, the black screen that refused to show the characters I had grown to love over the past few episodes. Minutes turned into what felt like hours. I paced the room, clutching my blanket like a life preserver, imagining all the worst-case scenarios. What if the episode was lost forever? What if my emotional investment was wasted? What if Netflix decided that, just for me, this story would remain incomplete? I know it sounds dramatic, but when you've been anticipating a climax for days, minutes without resolution feel like an eternity. I even considered calling someone for moral support, just to have someone validate my pain. Yes, it's okay. I would be furious too, I imagined them saying, but ultimately, I was alone with my spinning wheel of doom, and my mounting frustration. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, I did the unthinkable. I turned off the TV completely, restarted the app, and held my breath like a surgeon performing a risky operation. The loading screen appeared. My heart pounded, and then it started again. The episode resumed, right before the pivotal scene, as if nothing had happened. Relief washed over me like a tidal wave. I sank back into my couch, clutching my blanket and my snacks, ready to witness the drama unfold. And let me tell you, every second of anticipation had been worth it. The characters said their lines, emotions ran high, and the twist hit me like a ton of bricks. All that panic, all that frustration, melted away as I finally experienced the payoff. But here's the thing. Even as I sat there, laughing nervously and shaking my head at how dramatic I had been just moments before, I realized this is exactly what makes binge-watching so addictive. It's the emotional investment, the suspense, the fact that technology can betray you and then reward you in the same breath. And it's relatable. Everyone has had a moment like this. Everyone knows the pain of waiting for a resolution and being interrupted by forces completely out of their control. And honestly, it makes for a story you tell later, with laughter and exaggerated gestures about how nearly losing your mind over a fictional story is somehow a shared human experience. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been watching something totally invested, only for Netflix or any streaming service to crash at the exact worst moment? Did you scream, cry, panic, or maybe just lie on the couch in disbelief? Comment down below with your stories, because I promise I'll read them and laugh along with you. And if you enjoyed following my epic battle with technology and my emotional roller coaster, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps me create more content like this, full of relatable chaos, frustration, and comedy that we can all laugh at together. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future stories of dramatic moments, personal disasters, and the hilarity of everyday life that I share. So, remember, streaming disasters happen to the best of us. Netflix crashes, Wi-Fi fails, technology betrays us. But the emotional journeying, the stories that come from afar, what make these moments memorable? It's frustrating, infuriating, and hilarious all at the same time. And the next time your favorite show freezes at the climax, just know you're not alone. It's a shared human experience, a moment of tension, panic, and ultimate relief. And one day, you'll laugh about it just like I am now.